Mm-hmm.
Girl, you tearing that cabbage up. That's jerk. That's that jerk sauce. You're not gonna find it here.
Mm-hmm.
You're only gonna find it in Houston. So the next time I go to Houston, I'm gonna buy about 8 bottles of it. Mm-hmm. Chris tried to find it in Beaumont the other day, a couple of days ago, and he couldn't find it.
See, you started fresh.
I started over. You back? Come on, boo. Clock them hearts. Look at her. Look at her.
She ready to go to sleep.
Because London go to sleep at a certain time every night.
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
No, you go to sleep probably at about 1 o'clock.
No, I'm talking about...
London falls asleep way before you.
No, I'm talking about the afternoon.
Yeah, that was
Girl.
different. Curly bought me some hot food or whatever whole food stuff she had made.
Why do you have a sign right there that says wine makes you happy?
It says what?
It says wine makes you happy.
And I don't even drink wine. I don't even like wine.
Then why
I
did
just
you
like to...
buy that?
Because I just like the sign.
It don't match with her stuff, but she
Sometimes you buy stuff that you really don't. I mean, I don't drink wine, but it says wine makes you happy. Wine makes you happy, so the sign make me happy.
Oh wow, Mom, that didn't even.
I'm sorry, you are. What'd she say? What'd she say? What did she say?
But that doesn't make any sense. Come on, poor child. Holy Cherie's kid. She's saying that if you don't like wine, why would you get a sign that says wine makes you happy, but you bought it because of the fact that you liked it, but then you don't like wine, so why would you buy it? That's what you're saying, right? Like, that's why I don't make sense.
I know why she's saying it. Because sometimes people do things that don't make sense. I like the sign.
You know what?
So why does it have to make sense to you?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you. My
Nana
kids
don't
are-
like wine.
I'm
I don't like wine. It has a lot of
kids-
it has lots of sugar in it.
My kids
But I
just
still
don't.
like that sign. It matches.
She's so confused.
That's just what?
She
Just
good.
like nothing in your house is brown.
Come on, let's go, Cherie. Let's go. Come on.
And
We
it's
go. My kids just don't. They just sit there and listen. They sit back
and guess
think.
what? And it's never going anywhere. So every time you come over here, I want you to continue to look over there and say to yourself, it doesn't make sense.
Because you
Okay.
said, how'd that happen to you?
It's
How
okay,
is it going to make you happy?
It's okay.
That's okay, baby. We can't. Life sometimes doesn't make sense. Okay. Come on.
That girl right there.
Let's go. Come on, Lenny. Come on. All right, Mom. That was a good little come up you did.
It was.
Yeah, you made that up as your thoughts was making.
You know what I do.
Make it do what it do, baby.
Make it do what it do.
Do what you do, boo.
That cabbage. Woo! And they right there. You always leaving something.
Yeah, because
Baby.
I put it like the door. Put the door to me like.
Mm. You back. Baby, let me tell you something. I had these candy apple oxtails. So, this is what I want to say. I'm sitting here literally picking off just the fat. Because that's all I want. If it don't have any fat on it, I don't want it. And I've been doing this for years. I'm about to pick this oxtail up because I can't do it. Exactly, Patricia, and it's sticky. Sticking to my daggone fingers. How do it become sticky? I'm telling you right now, when the oxtail small like this, also, you go inside, it still has some fat on that inside, boo. So that's why I'm about to suck this bone. Baby, I never made no oxtails like this before. These oxtails are to die freaking for. Now see that vein? That gotta go. Use a fork. I was using a fork in the beginning. So why in the world am I going to use a fork now? Baby, I'm telling you, this oxtail bone is so damn good. And I said, damn, and I said, damn, damn, damn. Oh, boy, I can spot a vein. I can spot a vein. That's it. That's it for me. That's it. I'm going to taste a little more of this rice. I'm done. Oh, that's good. Woo! Oh, that cabbage. That oxtail. Oh my gosh. This is like Hail Mary to me. I don't think think I'm going to say this. I don't think I'm ever going to make oxtails with gravy anymore. This right here is the best way to make oxtails. You don't have to have that gravy. Baby. Look at that. I keep trying to tell you all, I'm not new to this. I'm true to it. Oh my. Elaine, Elaine, what's your name? Elaine Ewan? You just finished saying pork will catch up with you one day, Marion, even if you done it for years. I don't know what you're trying to say, Elaine. Pork might catch up to you. And then see, one thing that you all don't know when it comes to putting food in your body, I don't have a problem with pork. And I have high blood pressure. It's about the food that you put in your body, okay? This is not pork. So where you get that from? We're not even doing a live on pork. I'm not cooking pork. So how are you going to speak in existing to me? You don't know me. You don't know my body. You don't really know. If you really been watching me, you would know. I don't drink Kool-Aid. I don't drink sodas. I don't drink any of that extra sugar activities that you all, Elaine, put in your body. Okay? So don't come on here trying to tell me anything about pork is going to catch up to me. And we're not even eating pork. Okay? I'm not a big meat eater. I've been eating fat off of food for years. Exactly. It's not pork. So what are you talking about? You all come in on the last end of it. And I'm in the next Sunday, I'm gonna make some pork chops on Sunday. And I can guarantee you, I have high blood pressure. Pork never bothers me. Watch what you put in your body, okay? Before you try to dictate my body, all right? Oxtails is not pork, okay? Oxtails is beef. And I'm not really a big meat eater. See, that's what you are. You want that to come and haunt me. But for a person like me, I've been taking care of my body for a very long time. And what you're not going to do is come on here and try to say, Elaine, what? Pork will catch up with you one day, Marion. Okay? Are you trying to speak in existence for me? If you're trying to speak in existence for me, you can't. Okay? The only thing that's going to catch up to me is the day that God said it's my time. Okay? It may be in your body that you can't eat it, you can't do this because you put so many other different types of food and drinks and sugar, all that in your body. I don't do that. And I don't like it. So when you come to my page and you think that you're going to tell me something, I'm going to come right back to you. So sometimes a lot of people that comes and put comments on someone's post, some things are better left unsaid, okay? Because I'm going to come right back to you. Exactly. Know what you're talking about. Linda Turner. No, she said, know what you're talking about before you come. Baby, I might make me a pork chop tomorrow just for you to come on here and say it's going to catch up to me. I've been eating pork as long as I've been, way before I was even on Facebook. Okay? And I'm going to say this again. Clock that. Exactly. People think that just because you see a person on social media, you think you know them. Here today, after 9 years, you still don't know me, okay? I know me. You can't dictate me. But what I can do, I can dictate myself because I'm the one that get up in the morning. You don't get up in the morning with me. You don't see what I'm doing every day. She said, and she specified it very well. One day, the pork is going to catch up with you. Learn what your meats are. Oxtails is beef. It's not pork. And if I want to eat me some pork, hold on. I will eat it. Okay? So make sure exactly, David Clayton. Make sure when I make these pork chops, it's going to be on a whole different level. And I'm still going to maintain the food that I eat. Well said, checkmate. That's right, Linda Turner. George Scott said she had pork chops for dinner. She said, this lady said, one day the pork is going to catch up to you. You want it to catch up to me, don't you? You want me to fall and be out of control, and not in control of myself. Baby, I'm going to be in control. If anything happens to me, it's not going to be because you wishing something on me and you saying, oh, one day it's going to catch up with you. Speak for yourself. Don't speak for me, okay? I've been doing this for years. And if you ever watch me for a very long, if you have ever watched me for a very long time, you will be able to maintain the pork that you eat. Elaine, go find you some business, okay? You talking about don't want nothing to happen to you. You probably one of them very well people that sit back and want something to happen to me. But you know what? If you don't know what you're talking about, because I'm about to block you, go find you somebody else to go to, because you know I'm going to come right back at you. And then you're going to sit up there and say, you're going to try to sugarcoat it and say, well, I don't want nothing to happen to you. Why are you worried? Are you on my insurance policy? You're not on my insurance policy. My daughters get my insurance. So if anything happened to me, they gonna get it, not you. The fuck? Go find you somebody else to play with. And keep pretending like you care about somebody on social media, because you don't care about me. Exactly. Unbelievable. Baby, go find you somebody else to play with. She don't know her meats. She may be, and I'm not trying to downgrade anyone else, because what I do and the things that I say, that's to help people, not to downgrade anyone at all. Tina said, I just might make some smothered pork chops tomorrow. You love the new bottle seasoning, Stephen Holloway. And don't forget the bacon. And don't forget the cheese. Is the cheese gonna hurt me too? See, there's a saying, it's not what you eat, it's how much you eat, okay? And how much you eat of it. It's not what you drink. It's not what you drink. It's what you're drinking, okay? So you may have been one of them people that sit back and drink tea every day. You may be one of them people that sit back and drink some Kool-Aid every day. You may be one of them people that sit back and just did a whole lot. And still today, you cannot maintain yourself. So don't wish nothing on me and don't pretend that you care about me because you don't give a damn about me, okay? Tina Tucker talking about thick cut bacon. Exactly. Hickory smoke flavor too. And then she want to try to come on here and pretend like she care about me. Girl, go find you somebody else to play with. I don't know how long you've been watching me. I don't want anything to happen to you. I don't want anything to happen to you. You cannot look out for my best interest, okay? I want to make this clear to you all. Anyone on the internet cannot look out for my best interest, all right? I can only look out for my best interest through the grace of God. You could have kept that comment to yourself. How long did it take you to write that? 5 to 10 minutes? Go find somebody else to play with. Y'all, see, one thing about it, a lot of the people that be on the internet, they get too invested with someone on the internet. You're too invested. Why get invested with someone that you don't even know at all? And if you've been watching me for a long time, like a lot of the supporters been watching me for a long time, they already know. I limit myself. I'm a limited eater, okay? A lot of people sit back, ooh, they wonder why I cook all this food. They trying to figure out why I'm not like this. Why? Because I maintain myself. When I put this food on this plate, it's not for me to eat it all. It's for presentation. And I tell it to you all the time. Never judge, and I'm going to say this, never judge a book by a cover, okay? That's what's wrong with a lot of people on this internet. They want to sit back and judge a person because you see them as maybe a content creator and you see them because they're on there every day. Baby, I don't tell you my every move every day. So do you think when I go open my legs up and I'm going to say it just like this, you think I'm going to let you see me doing that? No, I'm not. So why are you on here? We can always have a great conversation here on social media. It takes somebody like you to come on and just say something stupid. Stupid. You're going to be all right one day when all y'all swelling go down. There's a lot of swollen people on this internet. Okay? There's lots of swollen people on this internet. And one thing that you cannot do is control anyone that you don't know, okay? You don't know me from Adam, and you sure the heck don't know me from Eve, okay? And that goes for anyone, even the ones in the bushes that sit back and think, oh, that be watching and just waiting on something to happen so they can open up a page and talk about somebody and bring someone's life out and say things about people and get on there. I don't give you all that, my whole life of energy, okay? I'm more of a positive person. But don't get me twisted, all right? See, a lot of you, because you think that I'm nice on this internet, I want you to know right now, there is another side to me. Exactly. Why not just sit back and enjoy? Hey, Chris Purnell. Why not just sit back and enjoy? I'm going to eat what I want to eat. You want to know why I can eat what I want to eat? Because I don't put those extra activities in my body. That's why. I've had 2 total knee replacement, a whole arm surgery, bicep surgery, a foot surgery, everything else. If God had anything other planned for me, there wouldn't be no healing for me, okay? Sometimes people can't be healed. And it's not because you did anything wrong. It's because it's the time that it happens. And it's time for this to happen, for that to happen, that to happen. We can't predict. What you tried to do was predict my life, okay? One thing that you cannot do is predict my life. Point blank and period. Predict your own life. Put yourself in that category. When you stop drinking Kool-Aid, when you stop drinking sodas, when you stop drinking tea, when you stop putting all the extra sugar into your body, predict your life. When you start eating pork every day. See, one thing about me, you can see me sit here eat this food. I'll eat this food. But one thing that I do know, I'm in control of me. You're not in control of me. And the worst thing that you said, the ugly thing that you said was that one day that pork is going to catch up with you. And guess what? If the pork catch up to me, that means it's time for it to catch up to me. Okay? So what you have, a voodoo doll over there? You have a voodoo doll, so you want pork to catch up to me? Baby, go find you somebody else. I'm telling you right now, go find you somebody else to play with. That's what's wrong with a lot of you people on this app. You all think you can just come in here and just say anything that you want to say. And you expect for that content creator not to say anything back. And the person can sit back and not like me just because I'm going to clap back at your ass. All right? Because I read between lines very well. And if you don't understand me, if you sit back and you listen to somebody talk about me on social media, you're no better than what they are, okay? Because one thing for certain and 2 things for sure, no one on this blue app know me. A person can come on this blue app and tell every lie that there is and assume, allegedly, this happened, that happened. One thing I don't have no skeletons in my closet, okay? I'm not perfect. No one is perfect in this world. But I learned from everything. I learned just from seeing a lot of the people on this blue app that come in and say things out of the ordinary to someone else because they feel that, oh, if you on here, that gives me the right to say what I want to say. So what makes you think it doesn't give me the right to say what I want to say? What makes you think it don't give me the right to say what I want to say? But you all sit back and y'all look at negative stuff. You look at people shaking their ass with half no clothes on, panties and bras on, and y'all think that that's funny. No, it's disrespectful. Especially when you have kids, okay? Nothing is funny. One thing I never did was ever disrespect my kids or my daughters, okay? I raised daughters. So, with that being said, why is it that we can all have a good conversation here, and then somebody will come on and say, when someone says something out the ordinary, they come on and say, well, just ignore that person. Why do you all think that we have to just sit back and ignore someone? Just because you're a content creator and you're supposed to just ignore this person? No. Loretta, if you feel like that, you can get off my page, because I don't. If you feel like that, let me tell you something. Loretta Gully. If you feel like that, Marion, you give more attention to energy, attention to energy, the negative ones. Baby, let me tell you something, Loretta. I have said your name many a times. But as of tonight, I will never say it again. So what you can do, you can block me. See, that's why I know you don't know me, and nor do you know my page. Okay? Because, see, a lot of times people say negative things when they know that I'm cooking, and I can't really see those comments. Okay? So what makes you think, because I can't see comments, that I give more attention to negativity? Nope. I can just see the negativity, okay? Because I'm sitting here to see your comment coming across my screen. You're negative. So go find you somebody else to play with. Ooh, you almost made me say something. But you know what? I will never stoop to you all's negativity. I know the positive ones. Trust and believe. Loretta, go find you another content creator to go watch, because this is not the page for you to watch. I'm going to tell you that right now. You have nerves to say I give more energy to the negative ones. How do you know that? Tell me how you know that. Because I'm over there cooking and I can't see the comments that's coming in. But when I come over here and sit down, I can see the negative comments that's coming in. Make it make sense, Loretta Gully. Wanna be and have attention. Let me block your ass. And ban you. Yeah. And your co-signer. You gone. Go find somebody else to play with. They think just because, and this is the thing. I sit here and I come on this app and I try to have a good time. I try to have a good time and at all times. At all times. But do a person think that I'm supposed to sit back and accept bullying and negative? No, the negative where that comes in, the negativity that comes in is a person like her, and a person like one day is going to catch up to you. So when I'm over there cooking, I can't see the comments that's coming in. So they'll do better. You all will do better making your negative comments when I'm cooking, okay? Because I can't see all those comments. But when I sit down and eat, yeah, I see Vanessa, I see Maureen Thomas, I see Cheryl McClendon. Hold on. Oh, yeah, she's a hater. She liked on the comments, so she a hater. Exactly. That's exactly why she got blocked. Exactly. Talk about somebody focus more on negative comments. How am I focus on negative comments when I can't even see the comments until I sit down? So when I sit down, I can see the comments coming through, but when I'm over there cooking, I can't see all those negative comments coming through. And of course, I don't have to address every negative one, but when it catch my eye, God gonna tell me when I need to say something and when I don't. See, that's why he had me over there cooking and I can't see it. Okay? Whew. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to continue to ask God to guide me in the right direction. Because in a few minutes ago, I almost found myself getting out that direction. And I'm not going to let these people take me out of my great element. And what got me here, for who I am here today, and want to come in on somebody's live and speak something ill or something untrue and say something because they listened to somebody else. A lot of people on this blue app, you all need to learn how to be leaders instead of followers, especially if you have kids at home. If you have a kid at home, you have nieces and you have nephews, how in the heck can you guide somebody, a kid, when you are full of bullshit on every day? And you have hatred in your heart on a day-to-day basis. See, what a lot of you don't like about me is that I'm going to speak my mind. So a lot of you want me to sit back. You say what you want to say, but you want me to back up like a crawfish, and not defend myself. Because you're the bully, and you all don't like when you're the bully and the person that you're trying to bully come back. You all don't like that, okay? You don't like that. You don't like when you're being the bully, and I come back and I'm gonna say what I want to say. You don't like that. What you want me to do? See, you don't want to be bullies on the internet and think that it's okay to be a bully on the internet. And Facebook sit back and allow you all to do all this bullying instead of, Facebook say they monitor people. Why are you not monitoring the ones that come on and harass somebody's page? They don't want a person to be real. They don't want a person to be loving. They don't want any of that. They want to see somebody on the internet shaking their ass. They want to see somebody on the internet showing all their own goods. They have kids at home. They want to see somebody on the internet that's making a fool out of themselves. They want to see somebody on the internet that sit back and have their legs gapped open on the internet. They want to see, there's so much that these people want to see on the internet, and they will promote that, but they will not promote positivity. They want to see so much on this internet to where it makes them feel good, okay? They want to see people arguing on the internet. They want to see people sad on the internet. They want to see people fighting on the internet. They want to see people, there's a couple of words I choose not to use. You can have a person that's on the internet that literally taking someone else's life, and they get millions of views off of that. Okay? But I can come in here and cook and be positive with you all. And Facebook want to take my people away from me that want to watch me. And they allow the negative people to come in and try to bully the next person. I'm gonna say something. I gotta go pay my water bill. But when I come back, and also a whole lot of people are jealous. Exactly. Why y'all so jealous? You think that I'm being jealous of somebody that's getting cash apps from people, getting super chats from people? I don't care about none of that. I worked. I don't have to sit on this internet and beg you all for a damn thing at all. I'm not begging you all for nothing. Me and my house, they wanted me to put up a whole registry. I wasn't putting no registry up. I have everything. Not everything, but I have a whole lot. So why would I go on social media and put a registry up for you all to send me all kind of stuff that I already have? That's called taking advantage of people, okay? And one thing that I will not do is take advantage of anyone, okay? There's so many times I give to people. I give to you all. If I made a mistake, if I took too long to ship you your order, I'm going to send you something extra. I may not be able to do it for everybody, but I'm going to send you something extra. That's what you call good faith and good business, okay? I've always been a very independent woman, and I've always taken care of myself, okay? I didn't have this person over here to help me. I didn't go find a man to help me pay for my bills. Even before I even left, when I was working for the city of Houston, I'll keep trying to tell you all, I made damn good money. So I don't know why these people on this internet want to sit back and try to play with me. I'm no better than anyone else at all. Because the same way God give it to you, he can take it away. And he has not taken it away from me because he know who I am. God put us all through a whole test, okay? He tests us all. I've given so much to people. They don't want you to give anything to anyone. What they want you to do, they want you to fall. They want you to fail. They don't want to see you happy because they're not happy. They're not happy. Through all this old trauma that's been going on for this past 2.5 years, I don't get into that, okay? People making YouTube pages about me and telling lies about me, and you all sit back as dummies. Some of you all sit back, even the ones that's sitting on here in the bushes, pretending like they don't see this live. Sit back and believe that bull crap. I'm going to tell you one thing for certain and two things for sure. Seeing is knowing, and knowing is seeing. You just can't make something up on somebody and you don't know what you're talking about. So a lot of you want to sit back and try to judge the next person because somebody else said something about that person. I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to be who God set me out to be. See, I'm not on this internet trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents. And I will never be jealous of anyone that sit back and beg for cash apps. Okay? Stop playing. You all know what you're doing. Stop sending your people around. A lot of you get so upset because you see me sitting here. Hold on. You see me sitting here eating me some dirty rice. Let me eat it. But what's making them so mad is that I don't finish all my food. They want to see me sitting here stuffing myself, stuffing myself, so it give them something to talk about. I'll find somebody else to play with. That's all they have to do is just sit back and watch the page. But you know what? A lot of people that sit back and come on my live, on my daughter live, they want to sit back and analyze and go by what somebody told them. So right then and there, if you get on social media and you bashing someone, a particular person, and you have 800-900 people watching you bash and lie about this person, and then you have those 800-900 people, maybe you might win about 500 of them who will sit back and listen to that bull crap, because they have nothing else to do in their life but to sit back and listen to that bull crap of lies. Where is the proof? Okay? Where's the proof? Wait a minute. Andre Williams said, "Now why you throw that rice back like that?" I was just trying to prove a point. Okay, it didn't have nothing to do with the rice. You want some? I just want you all to know, I love my life. You meant to say dirty rice. Hey, Tracy Ward, because we're not going to get these names mixed up. But there's so many bullies on this internet till it's unreal. But I can guarantee you one thing for certain and two things for sure. If those same bullies saw that person face to face, I'm telling you right now, they will back up like a crawfish. They will eat those words. And if you don't, hey, face a person. Don't go by what somebody told you. Don't go by what you heard. Because see, one thing that I do know, this blue app have not been around for a long time, okay? It haven't been around that long. Let's say 10 years. Marion was already doing her at her own job prior to Facebook, okay? Marion continued to do her job even when she got on Facebook. So I don't think I did. I think I did I had my first surgery in 2016. I've made so much progress within that time. All right? People don't want to see you progress. They want to see you hurt. They want to see you in so much pain because they are in pain. They've been hurt. I just want you all to know, the ones that's been hurt, you're not alone. All you have to do is just sit down and talk to someone. Take a lot of things away from yourself, away from your mind, body, and soul. Ask God to forgive you for all the things that you're doing in this world. You all think you have everything just planned out, but you don't have it planned out, okay? God have your plan. He see everything that you're doing, okay? Every person that you're trying to hurt, every move that you make. Exactly. Social media has a coward heart. But you are not hurting me. I just want you all to know and understand. I have did my time, okay? And listen to me very well. And I'm not bragging, all right? I've did my time. I am 62 years old. It is my time. See, in life, we don't get no younger. We get older, okay? And in life, the older you get, the wiser you get. And the wiser you get, the more you are supposed to understand. But a lot of you all don't know about that wise and wisdom and all that. You have so much hatred in your heart for the next person, you can't feel and find yourself. But one day, God is going to sit you down. You're going to be that particular chosen one. And it's for the hatred that you have for the next person. I don't have, you know what? For everything that my daughter and I know have been through on this blue app, I still don't hate anyone, okay? I forgive people, all right? I forgive people. And if a person don't know how to forgive, they will never know how to forget. And it's always so hard you can forgive, and it's very hard to forget, okay? But the biggest thing in life is to forgive. Is to forgive. And some people will never know how to forgive, okay? I forgive those people that tried to torment me and my family or tell all the lies that they tell, because if I can't forgive them, I can't even forgive myself, all right? Some people can't stand for the next person to be happy. They want to see everything and try to destroy. Try to destroy. There's so many things that I could say right now. Yes, it is. All I can say is for anyone to sit back and try to separate a family, a child, a mother, and a father has no heart at all. Has the deepest, blackest, dark heart ever. I always sit back and I always said, if I do this to this person, what is God going to do to me? See, some people don't think about that. And I'm going to tell you all, there's some of you that's new on this page, I just want to share this story with you. Really. Hold on. I need to get me some water. I got to drink me some water. Some people don't understand life. They don't understand. Hold on. Some people just really don't understand. So I have some new people on here, and I want to say this. I can't protect myself by myself, okay? I cannot protect myself by myself. I have to protect myself through the grace of God, okay? So there's a lot of things, good night. So there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't realize and they don't understand in life. In my family, it's eight of us, okay? And I was one of the ones in my family from way back then when I was a kid. And I want to tell you all this story. And it's a good story. From when I was a kid, I was that kid that had the big lips, okay? I was that kid that was teased because of my lips. I was that kid to where I was teased and bullied so much when I was a kid because of because of my lips and because they felt I didn't fit in. But that same kid, what it did to me, what a lot of people don't know and understand, what it did to me was that bullying hunted me for a long time. I cried because I didn't understand. Because I didn't understand. Because I'm a kid. So when you're a kid, you don't understand what the next person is doing and what they're saying. Only thing that you're looking at, because as a kid, you're only looking at what they're saying. You're looking at what they're saying to you, but it's really breaking you down as a kid, okay? And see, this is why a lot of people in life don't like themselves, because they didn't know how to handle themselves, okay? When bullying came around. So, and I might shed a tear. I might shed a tear. It took me a long time. It took me a very long time after being bullied, after being talked about, after people talking about my lips, after people saying this, after people saying that. I have an uncle. I have my mom, who's not living anymore. And then I had my Uncle Frank. His name was, they called him Frank Jr. And he was my uncle. And I always loved my Uncle Frank Jr. But my Uncle Frank Jr. had big lips also. So when my family members, I'm being teased at school, and then my family members, they're telling me, oh, you look just like Uncle Frank. You look just like Frank Jr. You look just... And I used to cry. Because I didn't want to look like him. Because I was so... They teased me so much in school to where at an early age, a person really don't know. When you're young, you don't know how to handle yourself at an early age. People don't understand when the next person is going through something and have been through something. And there's a lot of us in this world that has been through and have gone through a whole lot. But one of the things that I really want to stress out is, stand out is, I never wanted to look like my uncle. Even when I become 12 years old, I become 15 years old, I became 20 years old. I'm just skipping over in time, in life. But I never wanted to look like my uncle. I never wanted to look like him. Because, you see, my lips, my uncle's lips was bigger than mine. So I felt like I was just like this doomed person from way back in the day. And I could never understand. I could never understand why people talked about my lips so much. And I'm going to tell you, I don't have that fear anymore. Well, let me tell you this first. So one day I'm at work, you know, because the bullying taunted me for a very long time. For a very long time. The bullying taunted me. They taunted me for a very long time, and it just kept going on and lingering, and it stayed in my mind. And I'm like, so anytime a person would sit back and tell me I would go to the club, now I'm past my 20s, I'm past my 30s, okay? I'm about 30-something years old, and I have a person coming up to me and telling me in the club. But let me say this real quick. My uncle passed away. My uncle passed away. I forgot about that. My uncle passed away when I was still working for the city of Houston. And they called me on the phone and told me my uncle passed away. But prior to that, you know, my uncle, he did a whole lot of things. You know, he was crippled. He was in a wheelchair. And I would, working for the city of Houston, I was, you know, going in all these different neighborhoods. I would see my uncle on the corner, and which really broke my heart. Even though I didn't want no lips like him, but it broke my heart. And then so I'm driving in my work vehicle, and I pull over, and I would give him money, you know, because that's my uncle. That's my uncle. He's my Uncle Frank. He was my Uncle Frank with the big lips, and I had the big lips also. And so then I'm at work one day, and they ended up calling me while I was at work, and I despised him. I didn't despise my uncle. I despised because they kept telling me that I looked like him. My lips was big and all that. And so when he sat back, when I was at work one day, and they ended up calling me at work, and they told me Uncle Frank passed away. I must have broke down so hard and so heavenly, because he was the only uncle that I knew. It was just my mother and her brother. It was just two of them. So it was my Uncle Frank and my mom, Billy, Esther, okay? And when they told me he passed away, I'm at work when they told me. So when my baby sister woke up that morning, he wasn't responsive. So to make a long story short, ever since that day, because it broke my heart. It broke my heart because I know who I am. I'm not who the next person want me to be. It broke my heart for him to be gone. And for me, it was more for me back then. It was like a closure for me. It was like the doors are closed. So it's like when he passed away, God gave me and helped me accept my lips. I was able to accept my lips. Even though I was going to the club and the men would tell me, oh, you have some beautiful lips, I never paid attention to them. I sat back, and I never believed them, because I was teased so much. And then my uncle have the big lips, and then the lips are just there in my family, you know? But one thing that we never had to do was pay for these lips, all right? We didn't have to pay for them. For the people that sit back and have to go get injections, have to go get BBLs, they have to go get a fake dimple. I don't wear makeup. Thank you. And I cried for so long. You all don't know. For so long, I cried. For so long, I could not accept because I was teased so much as a kid. I was teased so much as a kid. See, there's a lot people don't know about me, okay? They want to sit back and speculate. They want to say, ooh, I got some tea for you. All I want you to do, send me some cash out. Send me this, send me that. It's not worth it. Because, see, we all have some kind of child. I said some of us have some type of childhood trauma that we went through, okay? Mine happened to be my lips, all right? That was a trauma to me. It haunted me. It haunted me. It haunted me, and I had to calculate some years. That's why I turned my head. It haunted me for a very long time. It haunted me for a very long time. And I've been married twice. I've been married twice. And I still wasn't happy. I was still, I still couldn't find myself. So then it came to a point, I left my girl's dad. I became on my own, and I did what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. I always respected my daughters. I didn't bring men around them, all that kind of stuff, you know. And I'm no better than anyone else. I'm no better than anyone else, but I truly believe that God, He chose me within my family members, okay? My siblings. I was the chosen one. I was a chosen one. And because even my siblings was teasing me. And I didn't know that for years. And I don't know if if any of you have ever experienced of being a child and growing up, and there's a lot of things that you don't remember from your childhood life. There's a lot of things that I don't remember, but there's a lot of things that I do. There's some that I do remember. But what I do know, God will never take this away from me. I think this is why I'm so strong here today, because He never let, even though the bullying went on back then, He never let me lose control of anything that anyone has to say about me. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm sitting there and I'm a kid. I'm going, no, not the kid part. I'm an adult by now. I'm going to the club. I'm having a good time. I think I'm having a good time. And so the men, you know, I was always very well dressed, and the men would come up to me and tell me, you have some beautiful lips. You can't see my eyes right now. To me, I was in my 30s, okay? I'm going to tell you straight up. I was in my 30s, and I was still self-conscious about my lips in my 30s, all right? And I leave the club and I go back home, and I'll put my head under the pillow, and I have to sit back and say, I'm still being teased. I'm still about my lips. So it still bothered me for years. It you know, people don't understand the trauma that people go through. But I'm smiling right now because God helped me through it. Okay? He helped me through that. So when the guys was telling me in the club, you have some beautiful lips, and I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, my lips are big. I don't have no beautiful lips. And even though I'm in the club, I'm still telling myself I don't have no beautiful lips. I'm still looking at, I'm thinking that they're still, even though I'm in my 30s, they're still making fun of me. Okay? I'm still thinking that they're making fun of me. I'm still thinking that they're like when I was a kid, because people don't understand the next person's life when you had trauma at an early life. Okay? And the trauma was the kids teasing me. And it haunted me for years, okay? But I had this one guy. I'm going to tell you all this. So I listened to the guys, and they would come and say, I have some beautiful lips. And then I would go to the restroom and look at myself in the mirror, and I would wipe the little lip gloss off my lips, and because I didn't want nobody to tell me that I have beautiful lips, because I'm still thinking that they making fun of me, right? They still making fun of me if they making fun of my lips. That was one of the things that really, 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 truly bothered me. You know, when it comes to bullying, people don't understand that it carries you for a very long time. A very long time. And I'm not going to lie to you all. So, there was one time, I'm in a club, not that particular club, but I was in another club. And I started going out. I started going out. You know, I left my girl's dad, and then I started going out. And I'm wearing long skirts. I nowhere near whatever style that I have now. I was nowhere near where I am today back then. I had a Jerry curl, but I got rid of that Jerry curl because I went back to Maryland. I moved back to Maryland, and I could smile now because I'm going into joy and going into something that's enjoying to me. And I moved back to Maryland. I started going out to the club after I left my girl's dad, because I didn't know what life was about. I was always just a homebody. A homebody, never smoked cigarettes, never didn't do drugs, didn't do any of that in life, you know? And I still stand by that here today. And I didn't know what fashion was about back then. I don't see no hearts going up. I need to see some hearts. I need to see them hearts. Y'all just sitting back listening to my story, and I'm telling you all my story, and I don't see not one heart. Y'all fingers got that tired. You would go in the restroom and look at yourself, Michelle. You would go in the restroom, and sometimes people will do that. Sometimes people will do that. But this is the thing. You know, I can spill out my truth, okay? But just because I spill out my truth, it doesn't mean it gives you the opportunity to think that you know me. Boo, you still don't know me. Only God know me. You can't, if you want to sit back and try to figure me out, you're going to lose all your hair in your head, okay? So I'm going to the club. I've never been to a club before. I remember when I first moved to Texas, to Houston, my sister took me. We went to this club downtown where Kurt Franklin, he was playing at this club downtown. And I'm new to Houston. I'm like sitting there. Hold on, I'm gonna get back to the other stuff. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, I want to go home because that's how much of a square I was. I want to go home. I started crying at the table. I was probably like 19, 20 years old. I started crying at the table because I had went to the restroom, and again the guy told me that I have beautiful lips, and then by that time I'm ready to go home. I gotta go. Just having a good time, you know. But to make a long story short, all the time that I spent going out and the men telling me I have beautiful lips, and I thought they was teasing me and all that. Come to find out, I really do have beautiful lips, you know? I have them. And I don't have to pay for them. I never paid for these lips. So my guy friend, he was the one who broke me out of that shell. I had met him before, and then we ended up seeing each other again. And so this one particular time, he ended up telling me, of all the people that told me in that club that I have some beautiful lips, I always felt that they was teasing me. But this one particular person told me the same thing that they was telling me. And that's when I was able to break myself out of that shell. Because I said, now if he's telling me that I have beautiful lips, and I'm looking around, damn, is that what everybody was really trying to tell me? And that same person that I'm talking about, we still together here today, okay? Here today. So when a person sit back and trying to analyze you, as I analyzed my own self at an early age, and it took a long time for me to figure out who I am, and it took a long time for me to realize that there's people that pay for these lips, okay? I ain't asked for these lips at all. I did not ask for these lips. But one thing for certain and two things for sure. I don't have to go get these lips injected, okay? And I don't have to keep up with the injections. These lips are not going nowhere, boo. They're going to be here. They're not going nowhere. Say what you want to say. Feel the way you want to feel. Talk the way you want to talk about me. But I don't have to go get no injections. Because see, when you start getting your lips injected just to have some big lips, and they're not natural, and you want to sit back and try to talk about me because I have some natural lips, and you don't have them, that means you have a problem within yourself. And if you don't have them, get the money. Come up with the money and go get your lips injected, because that's exactly what it is. It's an injection. Just like they inject your ass to make your butt bigger. I'm natural over here. Don't hate me because I'm natural. You're going to be all right when all your swelling go down. when some of these people swelling go down, they're going to be just fine. I'm God's gift, okay? I'm God's chosen one. He chose me to have these lips because he knew that it was going to be some haters. He knew it was going to be some haters. So with all this being said, for the ones that sit back and talk about my lips and say, ooh, she has some big lips, ooh, this and that. I didn't ask to be born in this world. Understand that. I did not ask to be born in this world. I didn't ask to pick up some strong genes for the big lips. I didn't ask for that. But I love it every day. God wake me up in the morning. I go and look in that mirror. And I'm not trying to shade no one. When I wash my face, I don't have to put no Noxzema on. I don't have to put soap all up in my face. I don't have to do all of that. I don't have to do all that. I'm natural. And see, that's what a lot of people don't like, is me being natural. They don't like the fact that this woman right here has a family of love. See, a lot of people that don't like that you have a family of love is because they never had that. And I'm not trying to put nobody down. But how you gonna try to put me down because I have my 17 grandkids and my 3 great-grandbaby? Let me tell you something. They're not going to play about that now. See, a lot of people just don't like to get involved in things, okay? And it's been so many years, I don't like my daughters involved in anything. If I have something going on, I'm not going to tell them. I'm going to keep it to myself. You want to know why? Because my business is not their business, all right? If I don't feel good, if I feel down, I'm not going to go in there and tell well, this is what's going on, this, that. I'm going to stay to myself so I don't snap to anyone. But some people in life, they don't have what I grew up with, okay? And I'm not trying to put nobody else down at all. And I'm not perfect. There's no perfect person in this world. And that's what a lot of people just don't understand, and they don't realize that. All it takes is this love right here in the heart. I don't understand. Things just don't add up in this world. There's a lot of things that just don't add up. Exactly. Who's that? Teresa. Teresa said, the day I learned to love myself was twice. You said was a blessing. Yes. Because sometimes you sit back in life, Teresa, and you can look at the next person's life. You can look at that person's life. You can look over here at that person's life. But people never sit back and look at their own life and what they really need within the life that they're looking at. Just looking, you know? There's things that I need. I can look over here and say, well, you know what? There's something else that I can do just a little bit. Let me find something else to do. Let me go get these goats some It's not about outdoing anyone. Let me go get these goats some food. Let me go, I gotta feed these goats. Let me get them some treats. Just because they're goats. And you have a dog, you have a fish, you have a turtle. We all need to eat, okay? And we all need respect. So when a person starts disrespecting you, that's your sign to get out, get up, and get out. If a person sit back and continue to accept all of those trials and tribulations that they put their own self through, hey, because I can say that. I know I went through a few trials way back. But you know what? It wasn't due to drugs. It wasn't due to anything. I just needed to get away. And God made me who I am here today. Seriously. So what I really wanted to say before I get up off of here is that when I was working for the city of Houston, and all the trouble that I went through, they sent me through, not went through, yes. Oh, tomatoes. What I went through was devastating, okay? And I had to figure out how was I going to bypass the devastation of them overlooking me for a position, filling out 30 applications, them knowing I was the #1 dominated person, even over men at my job. Could figure out any job that came towards my path. Okay? And then sexual harassment came along. So people have to understand when you're at a workplace and you see things, you know things like that is going on. So you look at yourself and you say, am I going to report this? Or do I just hold on to it? So I decided to report it. And when I reported it 2 days later, all hell broke loose. They tried everything to fire me at work, okay? They tried everything that they could. One day, one evening, because see, I always had a little sassy mouth, so anybody want to sit back and just say, oh, this lady this lady that. No, I've always been sassy, okay? I'm always going to speak my ground. I'm always going to stand up for myself, because if I don't stand up for myself, do I expect for you all to stand up for me? You all can't stand up for me. The people at my job couldn't stand up for me. I had to stand up for myself, okay? I went through hell at work. Chris, get off of here. Hey, Chris. I went through hell. Even when I was at work, I was still working for the city of Houston. I was live, and I couldn't. As bad as I wanted to talk about it, I just couldn't talk about it on social media. Not the way I talk about it now. So I want anyone to know, if you ever have young person, a grandmother, a niece, a nephew, you have someone that's having a problem at their workplace, one thing that I want you all to know if you report it to upper management, and upper management, their job, let me tell you, if you report it to upper management, their job, upper management job, is to report it to HR, okay? But see, a lot of that don't get to HR, all right? Any job that you work on is all designed to protect upper management because they don't want to be sued, okay? It's designed to protect upper management. So I had probably about 8 inside people that was standing by me, and probably about 100 people that knew it was wrong for what they were doing, okay? So that's called having problems at the workplace. So let me tell you how God stepped in. Let me tell you how he stepped in. So I would always keep, and I talked about this several times, and I love to talk about it because it's a testimony, not only for myself, it can be a testimony for someone else, okay? I'm going to talk real talk. So I used to leave my TV on. Back then, when I had a TV inside my home, I was living in a townhouse then. And me living in a townhouse, I would have to walk up the stairs. And I would always leave my TV on. My TV stayed on 24/7. And I was having problems at work, okay? They wanted to move me to another department. After I reported the sexual harassment and all that, they sent me through so much till it was unreal, all right? So I'm going up my stairs, and the TV is on, and Joe Osteen was on, okay? So I'm listening to, and I'm standing there, I'm getting myself together. I just come home from work, working overtime and all that. And I hear old Joe Osteen, the biggest topic that he was talking about was a person having problems at the workplace. How ironic, listen to this. How ironic was it that I'm walking up these stairs, and that's why I know God talked to you and he give you signs, okay? So I'm walking up the steps in my townhouse, and I started listening to what he was saying, and he was talking about a person having problems at the workplace. So I sat at the edge of I sat at the edge of my bed, and I started continuing to listen to him. Because, see, at this point, it's meant for me to listen to him. Because God put me in the right place at the right time. I'm having problems at my workplace. So how in the world I walk up these stairs and Joe Osteen talking about a person having problems at the workplace? So I sat at the edge of that bed, and I started continuing to listen to what he was talking about. And Joe Osteen said, and I can repeat this. He said, anybody that's having problems at the workplace, don't put matters into your own hands. He said, put it in God's hands. And I'm sitting at the edge of my bed. I sat down on that bed, and I started listening to what he said. He said, put it in God's hands. He said, once you put it in God's hands, you cannot fight that battle. You're not going to fight that battle. You continue to fight that battle yourself. And then he said, you're not going to continue. You're not going to be able to fight that battle yourself once you put it in God's hands. He said, because if you try to fight that battle yourself, you're going to lose. So how do people lose? They lose because they're angry Okay? People lose control. So there's a whole lot to listen to when it comes to fighting a battle yourself. So he said, once you put it in, you fighting that battle. Once you put that battle in God's hands, that means that you're supposed to let God take care of that. You don't take care of it. So where the losing control come from? A lot of people lose control when they are in a battle, okay? They say things that they don't want to say. They do things that they don't want to do. They hurt people that they don't want to hurt, or hurt people because they still have that mentality to where I've lost everything already. But how did you lose it? Because if you put it in God's hands and over there, if you put it in his hands, and then you went off and you tried to fight that battle yourself, and then you got angry, you got so angry, you wanted to run a person over. You got so angry, you wanted to pour gasoline on your significant other. You got so angry, you wanted to pull a knife. You got so angry to where you wanted to SA somebody. Where it come from? Where does the anger come from? Once you put it in God's hands, you got to leave it in his hands. And don't try to fight that battle yourself. Because if you try to fight that battle yourself, you're going to lose. How do you lose? Because you lose control. Okay? You lose control. Like a lot of these people in this world, because they can't handle things, they losing control of themselves. They've already lost control of themselves. Anger go a long ways. And there's still a lot of people in this world that have a whole lot of anger still within their heart. Okay? See, I don't want that anger in me. Never wanted that anger in me. How you going to find yourself? You're going to find yourself through the grace of God. You're not going to sit up. You can't find yourself through anger. You will never, ever, ever be able to find and fight a battle and try to fight a battle through anger. Because if you try to fight a battle through anger, you're about to lose control. So I'm going to tell you this. I told, so when I was I'm listening to that at work, and I'm listening to everything else, and I'm listening to this supervisor, that supervisor, and things got really, 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 really ugly at my job. But God told me, don't fear your job. And most definitely don't fear them. Because I always asked God to guide me in the right direction. And they tried so much with me. And I want you all to listen. I filled out 30 applications with the city of Houston. I was an inspector, okay? And I filled out 30 applications. I could have been a deputy director. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. I could have been a deputy director way high up there because they knew I had that. I had that knowledge, and I still have that knowledge. Underground utility, you can't tell me nothing. I can teach a class, okay? And they ignored me. And one thing that I never did, just like my private life is not everybody's business, and what I do and how I do it and who I'm talk to, it's not everybody's business. My mom always used to say, Your business is not everybody's business. Never let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. Okay? So I sit back at my job. My husband that passed away in 2015, I have to look at the actual date. We had not been together for probably damn near 20 years, okay? But we were still married. And he passed away. He had stage 4 lung cancer. I was getting ready to say colon, but it was stage 4 lung cancer. And out of those years that we were not together, all those years we were not together, God knows my heart. I did my 3 youngest daughters' dad the same way. I was right there for him before he passed away, and we were not together. It's just the peace of mind, body, and soul that God has always had within me. That none of you on this blue app can ever take that away from me, okay? You cannot take my pride, my joy, and my dignity away from me, okay? You cannot take away anything that God already set out for me, okay? So when he passed away, I was there for him. Even though we wasn't together, but the second guy, I was right there. We hadn't seen each other probably in 15 years, all right? But we were never divorced. I tried to divorce him. I went and tried to do the paperwork myself. It didn't work. Probably about 2-3 years later, found out about the cancer, and he to make a long story short with him, I was there for him. Okay, I took care of him. God gave me a whole lot of signs. He gave me like signs 3-4 months in a row, back to back. He gave me all those signs. But at the end of the day, God put both of us back together because he had always wanted to be back with me. And I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go back with him. But God made a way, and he made it happen. And when I found out that he had stage 4 cancer, well, I didn't find out. I ended up finding out that he was sick with what his sister told me, that he was sick. And he thought he had a pinched nerve. And we hadn't seen each other in like 15 years, you know. And he thought he had a pinched nerve. But it wasn't a pinched nerve. Come to find out, it was stage 4 cancer. But at that time, they still didn't know. But she ended up calling me on the phone, which it went a different route, but I don't want to get into that. And you know, it could be very important for people to really understand how God worked in his own mysterious ways, because he did. He worked in his own mysterious way. And I'm just going to say it, and then I'm getting ready to get off of here for real. So I normally have a party every year back then. My birthday is in June 8th, okay? So I've always kept in contact with his people, and his people always kept in contact with me. Even though him and I wasn't together. God always made sure that he had a path for him and I. And so my birthday is in June, and his aunt came to my birthday in June. My birthday party in June. It was at a club. And she came to my birthday party, and she brought his sister. Now, I hadn't seen his sister in about 15 years also, right? So when I saw her, you know, I'm always going to welcome people. Hey, you go on over there and get you whatever you want to eat. You know, that's just me. So when I saw her, I forgot about the 15 years because I hadn't seen her in 15 years, you know? And so then I turned around and I looked at her and I'm just going to use a fake name. I'm going to say, Diamond, you here? And she said, oh, yeah, I'm here. I don't have no problem with you. I said, girl, I don't have no problem with you. I said, but you know, at that time, I had a whole spread of food, like from my door all the way to here. Just a whole spread of food. So my birthday in June, that ended. So here I come. I'm having a New Year's Eve party because I've always loved to entertain people. I've always loved to entertain and cook and entertain people. So here I go with the New Year's Eve party. So my birthday in June. Here come New Year's. New Year's. So I had a New Year's Eve party. And his aunt came to the party again. So I'm like, okay, well, She came to my birthday party. That's in June. And then his aunt brought her right back to the New Year's Eve party. New Year's Eve. Okay? So I welcome her in. So we talking about January. New Year's. And so what happened next was my other niece, she was having a birthday party. She had a birthday party. She was having a birthday party back then. And I happened to go to her birthday party, my niece. And who do I see there again for the third time? For the third time. And that was in February. That was in February. I was trying to make sure I had the months together. That was in February. In the ending of February. And so I walk into the little club spot where my niece was having her birthday, and who do I see right then and there? I see his sister again, his sister the name that I just gave you all. And so we started talking. And that's February, March, April, May. Yeah. Yeah. So that was in February, and she told me, she said, well, you know, I'm just going to tell you all his name. His name is Carrie, okay? She said, well, you know, Carrie, he haven't been to work in 3 months. I said, well, what you mean he haven't been to work in 3 months? And she said, he said he have a pinched nerve. A pinched nerve. I said, okay. Because, see, God already put us together for my birthday in June. Then he turned back around and put us together for New Year's Eve. Then he turned back around. New Year's is in January. He turned right back around and put us together again in February. Okay? So that's 3 times in a row. So if a person don't know the signs that God has given you, he has gave you or given you, he gave me some signs, okay? Because I put it all together. My birthday in June, had a New Year's Eve party. Then I saw her again in February. 2 months down the line, he was gone, okay? I went to see him. I asked her for his address. She said, I got to get it from her cousin, Short. She had to get the address from him. The very next day, after I got that address, I was right over there to his duplex. Because I never wanted him to know where I lived. And I didn't know where he lived. And these are all years that had went by. 15, 20 years, okay? But God knows my heart, all right? And he always wanted us to get back together. I'm talking about my husband. He always wanted us to get back together. I just didn't want to get back with him. But God made a way. And he said, you might not want to get back with him, but you're going to be here with him. But God also put us all through a test, okay? So he put me to a test. I took care of my girl's dad. And I'm taking care of him. He put me to a test. Am I going to, even though we wasn't together, am I going to continue to take care of him, or am I going to fail him? When I found out where he lived, his cousin told me where he lived, I stayed with him. I stayed the night. He slept on one couch, I slept on the other couch. He was so happy that I was there. A month later, he was gone. He was gone. So when a person sit back and think that they know life and they know the next person, and they just think they have everything planned out and everything is up to par for them. February, March, April, he was gone. Finally, when I talked to him and I went over there, in a few days, and each day I stayed. And I had never stayed with him, the night with him, in damn near 20 years, okay? Yeah, and I never stayed. Girl, you better testify. I never stayed with him, never spent the night with him. We never hadn't had no sex or anything like that, okay? But God know my heart. He said, he know your heart. One thing God knows is he know your heart, okay? So he put me to a test. And let me tell you one thing before I get off here. One of his aunts said, well, you know, I'm sitting out there on the curb. By that time he had went to the hospital. He wasn't coming back out of that hospital. But I could tell you this before I get to that. I'm at work. And he's always loved poetic justice. And back then, I always listened to Anita Baker. So I received a text from him. This is during the time when I found out, and I stayed those few days that I had the time to spend with him. Within those 4 days, he sent me a message, text message, and he said, I'm sitting here watching poetic justice and listening to Anita Baker. Right then and there, I knew God was calling him home. Because he loved that movie, Poetic Justice. And he knew I love Anita Baker's music. So it was in a text message that he sent me that I'm sitting in my work truck and I'm reading it. And as I'm reading it, probably about an hour later, they end up telling me that they were going to have to send him to a nursing home, to hospice. I was in there actually taking care of him. I changed he pooped on himself. I changed everything. Everything was just like he was embarrassed about everything. But I just really knew that God sent me back over there to take care of him and to give him a closure before he passed away. And I really did. I did that. Before him passing away, I'm sitting on the curb outside of the hospital, and then his aunt called me. The same aunt that came to my house, the same aunt that brought the niece over there, she flipped on me just like that. See, one of the things why they flipped on me is because they thought him and I was divorced. So if we was divorced, that gives them the say-so I didn't. That means that I didn't have any say so if we were divorced. So when they found out, they had did a whole background check and whatever they wanted to do, and found out that we were still married, and they didn't have no say so. So I ended up getting a phone call probably 2 days later. I'm sitting on the on the curb outside at the hospital, and she called me on that phone and she said, "Well, you know, what they saying is that you here for all the wrong reasons. You here for all the right reasons." I said, "So what is the right reasons?" She said, his insurance. I said, "Hold on, wait a minute. I told her, "Wait a minute. Let me tell you something. We haven't been together in 20 years, damn near 20 years. So do you think for 1 minute that I would be here for a policy?" I'm talking to her on the phone. I said, "Let me tell you something. Do you think I have insurance on him?" I said, "I don't have no insurance on him. I didn't even have insurance on my 3 youngest daughters' dad, okay? I didn't have insurance on neither one of them, all right? Insurance don't make me, and it sure the heck not gonna break me. I'm not a greedy person. I'm God's person. Because the same way God give it to you, or give it to the next person, he'll take it away." I don't know what you mean by that, girl. I would have to say it. I don't know what you're saying by that, boo. I don't know what you're trying to say. Everybody have their own way of living. Everybody have their own way of doing things. Everybody have their own way of keeping calm. One thing that I do know, a whole lot of times, I know how to keep calm, okay? So when she told me that, I'm like, I don't have no insurance on him. I didn't have any insurance on him. I had not one lick of insurance on my husband that passed away. Oh no, they couldn't do anything. And that's what pissed them off. That's what pissed them off, because they couldn't do nothing because we were still married. We were still married. And we weren't still married because of insurance. Oh, okay. You hold on. Tammy, you know you got to explain yourself. You can't just be coming on there with no half sentence on something, okay? You got to come full force and because you could take that. I could take what you're saying as being negative, but I got you, boo. Mwah. All right, Tammy. So I was there. And you know what I told her? After she said what she said, I told her, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "What y'all think?" I said, "I can be at home, sitting in my little rocking chair, twiddling my thumbs if I was here for all the wrong reasons." Because that's what she said. Well, they said you here for all the wrong reasons. So he had a vehicle that he had just bought. And it was a Nissan Maxima, okay? He had just bought that vehicle and passed away a couple of months later. And so him and I, we talked inside the hospital, because by that time he was in the hospital, and then they ended up transferring him from the hospital to hospice. And so we talked. I was driving a Mustang back then. I had two other vehicles. That my Mustang was paid for and the other vehicle was paid for. So I talked to him. I said, "Well, I know you just bought this vehicle, and I know you owe money on it. I said, I can take over the notes for you. And we both agreed for me to take over the notes. I'm his wife, still his wife. No matter what, I'm still his wife. So we both agreed that we agreed that I would take over the notes. So I went to my bank because he had just bought the vehicle. Probably about 6 months, 7 months, maybe 8 months. He'd been having it for about 8 months. So I went to my bank and I got a loan to take over his vehicle. They sent me a check for $24,000. When it was time to go through after he passed away, his family wouldn't give the vehicle up. Now, who wouldn't give a vehicle up that someone is getting ready to pay off? That $24,000 check that my bank wrote was to pay that vehicle off over there, and then now it becomes my debt. Okay? I was willing to do that. They didn't want to get a vehicle up. So you know what I did? I just wanted to be funny. He had a black Nissan Maxima. I took that $24,000 and went and bought me a black Nissan Maxima. So when I pulled up over there at his sister's house, his cousin was there. He had to do a double take. Is that Carrie? That looked like his vehicle right there. Don't play with me. You thought you was hurting me? You're not hurting me. In fact, you just blessed me. So I paid that vehicle off, and then I went and got my Nissan Pathfinder, the black one, and then I traded that one in and got the one I have now. So when a person think that they're hurting you, they go out of their way to try to hurt you and destroy you. My bank, and I told them, my bank, I have a check, a $24,000 check for me to take this vehicle out of his name because he had passed away. He passed away. So I was taking that vehicle out of his name, and I'm giving them, the company that he bought the vehicle from, the $24,000, and then that turns around, and the only thing that they was going to do was take it out of his name and put it in my name. Okay, it was like you refinancing it, but it was going to be refinanced into my name. They so stupid. They wouldn't give the vehicle up. So I'm like, who in the hell are you hurting? You're not hurting me at all. But you know what? You don't fight fire with fire. What you do is you just sit back and observe. That's what you do. So I sat back and I observed everything that was going on. And so then it came to the point to where, what was next? I've always been free for like 20 years. And it came to the point to where, it's me. Let me. Exactly, a car that I was taking, the vehicle was going to be taken completely out of his name, and I give them the $24,000. I had already talked to the dealership and everything. When it all broke down too, and me taking the vehicle to the dealership, and then putting it in, and we was going to do an exchange, and that was going to be my vehicle. And I give them the $24,000, and then they put the paperwork in my name. I don't know if they thought that. I don't know if they thought that I was trying to scam them or what. I even showed them the $24,000 check that my bank put in it was actually put in the dealership name. No, it was put in my name. And then, I don't know, I can't remember if it was put in my name or it was put in a dealership name. I think it was put into the dealership name because that's how the transaction was going through. So then after that didn't go through, I had to, because it was the same dealership, and it was made out to the dealership. Yeah, that's how I was able to go and pick another Nissan Maxima, same color, black, with the rooftop, just like he had. And then then when I pulled up at his sister's house, his cousin was there, the same one that kept the vehicle. He was there. He pulled up. I pulled up. He did a double take. Like, I know Carrie not driving that vehicle. And then I stepped out of that vehicle. Boo, I stepped out of that vehicle with so much pride and my chest was so much out. And I said to myself, you can't stop me from doing anything. You can't even stop God from doing anything. God saw me all the way through. You can't stop me, boo. You can't stop me. So would a person want to sit back and say any ill things about me and my family? And they don't know me. You all don't know me. You all don't know the great and goodness I truly have within me. Okay? And it's not just for me being who I am. It's for me being blessed through the grace of God. And it's for me asking God to guide me in the right direction. Stop sitting back and hating on people and not wanting someone to progress. I don't have a pot to piss in and I don't have nothing to shit out of, okay? And I'm no better than anyone else. But I do know one thing for certain and two things for sure. I'm in God's heart. Can you tell me that you in God's heart and be sincere about it? Because I'm really sincere. So, with that being said, oh, let me say this one other thing. When he passed away, you know, when I was telling you all that I filled out 30 applications and all that, and they didn't want to they didn't want to move me up. So when I retired as an inspector. But always pay attention to what you're doing in life, okay? Because some things may be good for you, and there may be some that's bad for you. Some things may not be for you, okay? May not be for you. So when he passed away, let me tell you, he worked for the city of Houston, okay? And we were separated for damn near 20 years, all right? So one thing that no one is going to tell me is about me, okay? I'm not getting ready to sit back and tell y'all. I tell you what I want you to know, not what you want to hear. So all that time, them 15 years that baby, when he passed away, them people didn't know that him and I was married. It's probably like the people in the other department knew that him and I was married. But when I moved over to the other department, they didn't know that we were married. And guess what? Them 30 applications that I filled out. And God kept telling me to hold on. I got something for you. You never know what God have for you. But what I always say is, stop messing with God's child, okay? So, I'm sitting there. I have nothing to say. I'm trying to figure out why I still can't get this position. So when I was filling out them 30 applications for the people in the back. So when I was filling out them 30 applications, pay attention to this. And they wouldn't move me up. And they wouldn't move me up, okay? They never knew that him and we were married. A few of them knew, but not in my department. Because I carried my original last name, okay? Over there. And I'm gonna make this real short. So all the 30 applications that I filled out, and when he passed away in 2015, I think it was 2015, I have to look on the death certificate. When he passed away, the city still had to pay me. Anyway, they had to pay me. So even though you sat back and you stopped me from getting a position, stopped me from moving up, stopped the whole 30 applications, and here today, I still get his pension in my bank account every month at the end of the month. Okay? So when you call yourself messing with God's child, you have to be careful who you're messing with. You have to be careful of who you are messing with. Because those applications, and they have to pay me, they have to end up paying me anyway. And he passed away in 2015. I want to say it was 2015. So within that year, I started getting his pension check. And I was still working for the city of Houston. I didn't retire until 2019, okay? And guess what? Here today, I still get his pension check that hits my bank account right along with my pension. So when a person sit back and think that I got to do this, I have to do that, no, I don't. Then I'm going to hit with my Social Security in the middle of the month, the second Wednesday of the month, okay? Here's to my Social Security. Do not touch my anointment. So when you call yourself trying to, hey, I see a mad face. Boy, I haven't seen a mad face in so long. I'm going to go back and look at your mad face, boo. What you need, some hater sauce or some mad burger? What you mad about? Or was it a mistake? Okay? Because I don't care about your mistakes at all. Because I'm too blessed and highly favored. Maybe it was a mistake. Because I don't see mad faces. But one thing, what I can tell you is, and I'm going to be honest with you all, when they thought that they was hurting me, and they thought that they was stopping me from moving up, see, sometimes everything that you think is for you is not for you. It wasn't meant for me to get, to be able to move up. It wasn't meant for me to get a promotion. It wasn't meant for me to get a promotion, okay? You know what it was meant for me to do? For me to sit back and keep my composure and let God do his work. And that's exactly what I did. I sat back, I kept my composure, and I let God do his work. All right? I was 55 and a half years old when I retired from the city of Houston. All right? After 25 and a half years as an inspector for the city of Houston. Could have been a senior inspector. Could have been the deputy director. Could have been all of that and above. Because that knowledge was right here. And it's always been here. And it's always going to stay here. I can go get a job over here in the city that I live in. They've offered me a job. I can't do it. But you know what? I love what God has done for me. I love the path that he has sent me through or taken me through. We all go through trials and we go through tribulations, okay? But one thing that I do know, some people don't understand that. But I understand the path with God that he sent me through. I really, really do. I had too much knowledge because I kept asking God to guide me in the right direction. And especially when it came to me walking up those stairs and I'm listening to Joel Osteen and he's talking about the workplace and he's talking about how do you lose control. And I had to figure out he said when you put it in God's hands, don't try to fight that battle yourself. You fight that battle on your own. Do not. Once you put it in God's hands, don't try to fight that battle yourself, because if you try to fight that battle, you're going to lose. And then I had to ask myself, well, he said, if you try to fight the battle yourself, you're going to lose. How do you lose? So like 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm going through trying to figure out what he mean. If you put it in God's hands and then you try to fight the battle yourself, and if you try to fight it yourself, and that means you have taken it out of God's hands and put it right back in. You put it in your hands, and now you want to fight the battle yourself. Now you're losing control because you done took it out of God's hands when you already had it. So guess what? I put it in God's hands, and I left it there. That's how I was able to retire from the city of Houston, still being able to retire from the city of Houston after 25 and a half years. And I went through that torment for at least 8 years of my time being there. I'm going to say 10 years of my time. Okay? Let go and let God. Exactly. You have to let go and let God. So, I'm going to get off of here, you all. I've been on here for a while. You all be saying things and turn me into a whole new different ball game, because some people just don't get it. They don't know how to come on the internet, and then just, if you don't like it, you just scroll off to somebody else. They have to be an internet thug, and say something out the internet thug way to where they want some attention. And then some, majority of the time, I get them a little attention, but you know what? Sometimes you just can't let everybody get away with what they're doing, or what they think they're doing, or who they think they're hurting. Okay, I'm going to say good night, sleep tight, don't let nothing bite. And you put it in his hands. It's a poor wind that can't change. You sure right, Sharon. But anyway, again, I'm going to say good night, sleep tight, don't let nothing bite. I will stay tuned for tomorrow, because we're going to have something. I got to see what time Curly going to get here. Much love. Thank you all so much. You all have a good night. Thank you for the stars. Much love. You all be careful, okay?